Okay guys, so here is the long-awaited tutorial on how to make all of these different size cards right from home. So I'll just kind of go through them a little bit. I'm going to show you how to make every single one of these things here. By the way, I want to disclaim that I outsource all of these now just because my business has grown a lot and I am no longer able to make these at home. Starting with thank you cards. I made all of this right from home when I first started my business, even double-sided. This is a little scratch off sticker with a little discount code on the bottom. So I will have these linked in the Amazon favorites, as well as all the supplies that I use in this video, the cardstock that I'm going to be using, all that good stuff, my paper cutter will all be linked in the Amazon favorites. Also going to be making some cup care instructions, and these will also work as business cards, so if you want to turn them sideways, you totally can. We're also going to be making some backing cards that look like this. And I use these for holding my keychains, stickers, things like that. These are perfect for little backings in your packaging. So that's what we're going to be doing with these. We're also going to be making some magnetic bookmark backings here. And this is what they look like when they're already on there. And lastly, we are going to be making some scrunchie tags, and they look like this. These can also be used for bracelets, jewelry, necklaces, things like that. Anything you can really think of that needs to be wrapped around. These are perfect for that, and that's what it looks like double-sided. So we're going to be making some of these, and that is the last thing we're going to be making. So let's just get right into it. So you're going to want to open up Canva. If you're not already using this, what are you doing? Canva is such a great tool for my business. I literally use this for everything. It's an amazing like design studio. All my designs come to life on here usually when it comes to packaging. So this is what I'm going to be using. I do have the Canva Pro version, which is I believe $10 a month. You don't need that to get started. They do have a free version as well, but if you are a business owner, I highly recommend if you have the $10 to spare, I would definitely get Canva Pro. It has so many more options, so many more designs. I would definitely get Canva Pro if you're able to. We're going to start off with the magnetic bookmark backings. This is going to apply for all of these things. Anytime that you're going to make a backing, you're going to start with the size of the actual card. So for example, this is 3x3. So we're going to hit custom size right here. And we're change this to inches, and we're going to hit 3x3. And that's going to create a new design. Something I learned very early on when I started making custom packaging at home is if you don't know what to size your cards, or if you don't know what size you need them, I would start by getting the bags. So for example, this little baggie here is 3x3. This little baggie here, I believe, is 3x5. So whatever bag you're going to use to package your items, that's the size that you're going to be making your cards. This baggie is 3x3, so we're going to be making this 3x3. Same goes for this later on in the video. This is 3x5, so we're going to be making the paper 3x5. So that's just a quick little tip that I have for you guys. Whatever the size of your bag is, that's the size that you're going to be making your card. But let's get back to the video. So here's where you're going to be making your packaging. This is very up to you, whatever you want to put. I have to preface this because it's happened in the past. When I'm showing you guys how to make these tutorials, please use your own branding, use your own style, like change it up, make it your own. Please don't use any of my branding or anyone else's branding. Make everything according to your brand, you know, your aesthetic, all that good stuff. This is a very simple design, so I'll just show you for funsies how I did it. Basically, I just changed the color. So I'll just add whatever color I want. I'll just choose this one for the video. Placement also depends on how big your product is. So for example, if you're going to be using this for magnetic bookmarks or pins or earrings, things like that, you have to be mindful of the space that you're going to be needing. And that's why I just decided to put mine at the very bottom right here. It would be something like this. I'm not going to make it exactly the same. Drag that to the bottom here. Make it a little bit bigger. But keep that to the end, because remember, we're going to need space for the product in here in the middle. And then I would do something like, again, this is just a very quick overview of how I put it together. It's very easy. But if you wanted to add, like, for example, like your own artwork as a background or anything, you can totally do that. If I had a jewelry store, I would probably like add the background, a picture of like a bunch of my jewelry laid out, or like those are just some ideas I'm throwing around here. Once you have your finished product, you're going to go ahead and hit the share button up here in the corner, and you're going to download that as a PNG. Now we're going to go ahead and go back to the home page, and now we're going to create another design. That's going to be the standard paper size, which is 8.5 by 11. And once you have that open, you're going to drag your design in. Once you have that dragged in, you're going to size it down to 3x3 or whatever. Again, this is going to apply for all the cards. Whatever card you're using, when you drag it in, make sure that you size it to the correct size. So in this case, this is 3x3, so we're going to size that down to 3x3. So this is 3x3 here, and now we're going to align these on the page to fit as many as we can. I think we can fit, let's see how many we can fit in here. We could definitely fit 6 in here, so we're gonna do that. All right, so we fit 6 in here. And if you want, you can totally like spread these out, whatever you think is easiest for you. You can group them together, whatever, you know, whatever you choose. I'm going to do it like this just because the color is very similar. So I want a clear line of where I'm going to cut. But again, this is totally up to you. Once you have this done, you're then going to export this as a PDF print file. So hit download. You're going to go up here to file type and you're going to change that to PDF print. So I usually like to leave it in RGB, even though that's best for digital use. And then the other option would be CMYK, which is best for professional printing, which is what printers actually print in. They print in CMYK. But the problem with that is that whenever I do CMYK, it comes out a little bit duller than I was liking. You're going to have to trial and error this with your own printer. So I would definitely do some test printing and things like that to find your best options. But I'm going to just do RGB for now. And I'm going to hit download, open that up. Now we're taken to the print preview where we're going to select print. This is a very important step as well. So select the printer that you're going to be using. I'm going to be using my HP DeskJet. And once my page is printing, I'll kind of show you my printer and explain a little bit about my printer in case you guys are interested. So we'll get to that in a minute. But you're going to hit your printer of choice. Very, very important step here. You're going to hit more settings. I'm going to go to print using system dialog so I get more settings. Make sure it's always scaled to 100%. That's very, very important. This is going to depend on the type of paper that you're using, but if you're going to be using the same exact paper that I am, you're going to be selecting photo glossy paper, but regardless of anything, you always want to select best quality. Now I'm just going to hit print and we're going to head over to the printer so I can show you what type of printer I use, talk a little bit about it. So let's do that now. Okay, so while this is printing, I'm going to be explaining a little bit about my printer. This is the HP DeskJet 2722. I believe this model is no longer available because it's a pretty old model. But there is a follow-up model that I have linked in my Amazon favorites, which is just, you know, this one but better. And it's still very affordable. So a couple things I like about this printer. It is a fantastic starter printer. I mean, this thing has been through so much. It's little, it's small, but she's mighty. Okay, a couple things about her though. She's very slow, as you can see. Like, it takes probably 2 to 3 minutes per page. It's very, very slow, but when you're first starting your business, this is all you need right here. I promise you, this is all you're gonna need. And as your business grows and expands, like for example, I'm gonna have to level up any day now. This thing is gonna give out. So I am on the hunt for a new printer, but when I was first starting, this was perfect. In terms of ink, honestly, very like great on ink. I haven't had an ink delivery in probably, it's been a couple months honestly since I haven't had ink, and I print on this almost every day. I use this for like my magnetic bookmarks and things like that. So this gets a lot of use. It's fantastic on ink. Another thing is that I joined the HP like subscription service for printing pages, and they automatically send you ink and everything, and that subscription service is only $6 a month. Well, that's the tier that I have. Actually, it depends by how many pages you're printing, so you can select different tiers depending on how much you're going to be printing. But I have the $6 a month plan, and that comes out to $72 a year, which includes ink, guys. So that's actually really, really affordable. They send you ink, like it's connected by Bluetooth, and like it will measure how many pages you're printing and stuff like that. It'll automatically send you ink when your printer is running low. So I actually really like that feature as well. A great starter printer. I really, really do recommend this. But as you can see, again, it does print fairly slow, but if you have the patience and if you need something affordable, I would definitely recommend starting off with this. It's been great. It really has. Here we go. It's done printing. It's coming up a little fair on camera, but it actually looks more pink in person. But yeah, this is how it came out, and now we're going to cut these up. If you're planning on DIYing your packaging, I want you to meet your new best friend. This, you're gonna need it. The exact one, you can find it in the Amazon favorites. Not just for DIY packaging, but like if you work with vinyl or anything that you're constantly cutting, you're gonna need one of these. Anyways, let's just get to cutting. And again, the reason why I left these gaps in between, I usually wouldn't, but I left these gaps in between just because there's like not a very good distinction of where the next bookmark starts and ends. But again, typically I would like just group these together. It wouldn't matter. Okay, so I just finished cutting all these up. Now we're going to round the corners. So I'm going to be using my little tool that I have here. And this thing is awesome. I love it so much. Of course, you can always leave it like this. That's totally fine. But if you want to round the corners, I use the biggest size, which is the 10 millimeter. Just pop it in there and poke out the corners. And there you go, you have your little backing for your magnetic bookmarks or your earrings, your pins, whatever you're gonna be selling. There's your backing for it. Again, you're going to repeat the same exact steps for anything that you want to make. The only difference is that you're going to be changing the size of the cards. I'm just going to walk you through every single thing that I made in this video just to give you an overview. But by the end of this video, the process should be very, very self-explanatory. The only thing that's not going to be like that is the thank you cards that are front and back. And the scrunchie tags are a little bit different as well. Let's clean this up and move on to some other things. Okay, and now I'm going to be giving you guys a little bit of a different angle so you can see first person kind of what this looks like. So again, I'll just walk you quickly through the other sizes, and now I'll just briefly explain how you're going to make a border that's this size. This is 3x5. Again, we're going to do a custom size. We're going to change this to inches. We're going to change this to 3x5 and create a new design. And here is where you're going to create your own design and everything. The way I made my design was basically just changing the background color and adding some flowers around the borders, something like this. So remember, when you have your finished product, you're going to share that and download it as a PNG. I have 4 pages underneath, so I'm just gonna select page 1. You're gonna download that, and then you're just gonna repeat the same steps. So you're gonna make an 8.5 by 11 page, drag in your file. It's gonna be huge. You're gonna size it down to the original size that you made the first design in, which this case is 3x5. And you're going to fit as many as you can on the same page. So I'm just going to line these up and can fit 3 this way. This is how I usually do it. All right, so we definitely filled up the page. I like to usually center it just a little bit. Repeat the steps. You're gonna change this to PDF print. And again, here's where you would make your selection for the different type of printing you want to do. If it's RGB, CMYK, that's where you're gonna change it. I'm gonna leave it in RGB. That's just my preference. So I'm gonna go ahead and download that, open that design up. We're gonna hit print. Go to more settings, print using system dialog, and that will look different for everyone depending on what printer they're using. So that's just for my settings, but yours might be different. Just always make sure that yours is scaled to 100% and you're printing on photo glossy paper. So now we're going to move on to the care card instructions or business cards. I forgot what size business cards are, but thankfully Canva has templates for business cards. So I'll show you that right now, what that looks like. If you don't know where to start or how to make yours, you just go over to all templates. So let's start over. So you would just go over to templates right here, and you can just click that, and they have so many different templates for a bunch of different things. But I'm gonna go to print products, which is right here. And as you can see, there's invitations, business cards, postcards, brochures, flyers, all that good stuff. We're gonna hit business cards, and we're going to either, these are all these different templates that they have here. This one's actually really cute. But yeah, they have a bunch of different templates that you can choose from. Right off the bat, I would probably pick something like this because I really like the colors and I like the layout and everything. But if you want to start from scratch, you can totally do that, which you can create a blank business card. And as you can see, it comes out the long ways. So if you don't want to do business cards and you want to do your care instructions, I will show you how to rotate this. From the care instructions that I'm going to do, obviously we have to rotate it. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to File, and you're going to see right here underneath it says business card by Noelle, and then it says 3.5 by 2 inches. What you're going to do is I'm going to just create a new design, and it's going to be custom size. Remember, change that to inches, and we're gonna do 2 by 3.5 and create that new design, and you should have the correct size now. Here, you're just going to make your care cards, again, however you want them, or if you're gonna do business cards, you can even do hang tags with this, which I will show you what that would look like. I use the same template for both, so I'll show you that now. Here's some different ideas of what you can do with this size. For the hang tags, this would be the front, and this would be the back. And I actually have a tutorial on how to print this like the easiest way possible using some Avery double-sided cards, which you can check out in this tutorial right here. So I won't get into that one today just because that one's a little bit different and a little bit more complex. If you want to see how to print these double-sided on the templates, you can definitely check out that video. But this is just another idea of what you can do with this size. Just make it your own, put your own design and everything. Once you have your design done, we're going to repeat the process again. Say it with me. You're going to share, download as a PNG. I'm going to save just that one page that I have. Download that. Then we're going to create another design, 8.5 by 11. And we're going to size that down. And we're going to fit as many as we can on this page. And I believe we can fit 12 of these on here. So let's do it. Here's some like easy hacks that you can do. You can just basically copy and paste these, line those up, center them, and then we're going to just copy and paste that 2 more times. Once you're ready to print, you're going to share that, download it, change it to a PDF print, and then you're going to download that. You're going to go to your printer settings. You're going to make sure that it's scaled and that the paper is best quality photo glossy paper. Print that, cut it, all that good stuff. Now we're going to be moving on to these scrunchie tags, and the way I make these is a little bit different than what I've just shown you. So I'm going to show you how I make these. It's actually a lot easier. So let's do that now. Custom size, and we're actually going to start off with an 11 by 8.5. So it's the letter size. It's going to be turned sideways so that we can better see. So just go ahead and create your new design. So as you can see, it's the long ways now, and that is because when we're designing them, we want to be able to see how it's going to look standing up. So that's why I do it this way. The way I usually create these is I will go ahead and just add an element. So I will add like a square, and I will just size that. The reason why I do this a square instead of just changing the whole background is so that I don't waste any unnecessary ink. So for example, if I know this is going to be cut up here, I don't want to waste that ink, and I'd rather just do it this way. So I will change this to whatever color I want. I'm also going to be adding one down here so that I take advantage of the space. So I'm just going to go ahead and change that. Whoops. So I'm going to add an extra one right down here, and I think this should be good. So now you're just going to add whatever you want it to say on here. So for example, I'm going to have my logo on one side. Whatever you decide to put down here, if you're going to put text or whatever, it's going to need to be opposite to what's on the top. So for example, if I have the logo down here, I would have to change this orientation because remember, it's going to print out like this, and we're going to fold it like this. So whatever is on the top has to be opposite to what's on the bottom. So I'll show you again why it's important. So you have it like this, right? And once you fold it, it needs to be right side up on both sides, and that means it needs to be opposite when you print them out. Down here, I'm gonna add something like handmade satin scrunchie. I just group these together, and I'm gonna flip it upside down like this. Put that down there and kind of make that even. And also guys, the distance between these two is going to depend on the product that you're going to be using it for. So if you're going to be using it for something like a scrunchie, remember that you're going to be needing a longer space in between because it's going to tie at the top like this. So if, for example, if you're using this for a necklace, this would be way too far apart. The distance between this and this would be way too far apart. So again, that's going to depend on what you're using it for. So a lot of trial and error, guys. Just play around with it, find the best gap for you, and yeah, that's something to be mindful of. Here's what it would look like when it's done, and now you're going to go ahead and again, we're going to share this, download it as a PDF print, open that up, go to our print settings, and do the whole thing all over again. So that's how you do the scrunchie tags, and now we're going to move on to the thank you cards. Now I'm going to teach you how to make the double-sided thank you cards. You want 4x6, this is the exact tutorial, but if you're going to want a different size, then just adjust it to the size that you want. I'm going to show you how to do it single-sided and double-sided, so let's get into it. So you're going to go ahead and create a custom design, and we're going to select inches. It also depends if you want this vertical or horizontal. I'm going to be doing horizontal. So we're going to input the numbers backwards so that we can work on it horizontal. But if you want it vertical, you're going to enter 4x6. We're going to do a horizontal, so I'm going to enter 6x4. You're going to create your design, you know, add all your branding, whatever you wanted to say. I will show you what mine looks like. So this is my thank you cards here. If you're going to be wanting the little sticker, the little scratch off sticker, remember to include your code on your final product. My code just says YouTube for 10% off. but you can put whatever you want on there. Make sure that's included in your final product. I like to also throw in a QR code that leads to my link tree, so I feel like that's very helpful. And right underneath that, I have the back of this, and I leave this space here for the thank you sticker, but again, this is going to depend on you. If you want it single-sided or double-sided, I'm going to show you that either way. Regardless of if you have 1 page or 2 page, save whatever you have, save whatever you're going to want to have. And I'm going to download that as a PNG. Save that, download, and drag that in. This is the part where we're going to split it into single-sided or double-sided. So regardless of what you're doing, I'm going to drag that other backside onto a different page, and we'll get to that in a minute. We're going to focus on the first side right now. We're going to fit as many as we can on the page, and it's going to be 3 for this page here. If you would just want this single page, what you would do is just share this, download it as a PDF print, and repeat the process again for your printer settings, all that good stuff. But if you're going to want the backside, this is what I would do. Save this as it is, or you can duplicate it if you want to have a copy of this original page. So what I'm going to do to make things easier, I'm just going to go ahead and duplicate this whole page, and you're going to leave your cards on there. To get it perfectly aligned front and back like this, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to layer this backside on top of these. So I like to zoom in and get it as close as possible to the edge. And then I'm just going to repeat that step over here. But for these down here, you have to make sure that it's flipped the opposite way. Don't ask me why, I truly don't know, but maybe this is different for your printer, but for mine, if I were to leave it this way, it would come out backwards. I don't know why, but it is what it is. So what you have to do, at least if it's my printer, you might have to try this with your own, I'm not sure. But for mine, you have to flip it. You have to flip it the opposite way. And again, we're just going to line those up perfectly like this. So once you have those lined up perfectly, then you would export both of these, and we're actually going to print these so that you can see what you have to do on the printer. Change that to PDF print. We're going to download that. Here's what happens when you download them at the same time. You actually get them on the same PDF file. That's totally fine. Just make sure that you're printing one at a time. So for example, if you're going to be batching these, I would print, let's say, I would usually print like 10 pages at a time of the first page only. Whatever you do, you have to make sure that you're printing them separately. So if you're going to do the first pages first, batch those first and then batch the second pages. This is just for example, if I were to print, if I wanted 10 pages of thank you cards, I'm going to select 10. Instead of printing all pages, I'm going to select from 1 to 1. So that way I only get this first page and I leave that second page alone, okay? For this video, we're only going to do 1 page. So I'm going to select from 1 to 1, but I'm just going to change the copies to 1. And we're going to print the first page first, and I'll show you why you have to do this in 2 steps. So let's print that first page. It's just finished printing, and I'm now going to take this and I'm going to flip it over just like that and put it in the feeder in the back. And again, this is a very important thing or else it'll come out backwards. You're going to take it and you're just going to rotate it like this and put it back in that way. Okay, so now that it's in, we're going to print the second page. This is just about to be finished printing, but I just wanted to give you guys a tip that if you're going to be printing these in bulk, what you would do, oh, there it goes. What you would do is actually print as many copies as you want of the front side, and then all you're gonna do is flip those all over, load them back in, and then print as many copies as you needed on the back side. That's the way I used to do it when I printed these in bulk. I would just print, for example, 20 copies of the front side, flip those all over, and do 20 copies of the back. Yes, it is an extra step, so that's why you can totally just do the front if you wanted to, but I really like the back. I feel like it adds way more personality and everything, but let's cut these up and then I'll show you what they look like. Okay, that's looking promising. Let's keep going. So I just finished cutting them up and they came out absolutely perfect. As you can see, the front is completely layered on top of the back. It came out beautifully. So I actually ran out of scratch off stickers, but what you would do is just put your little sticker on there, put your freebie sticker on the back or whatever you're going to put on here, and there you go. And then you have your front and back thank you cards right from home. So that's all we're going to print for today. I just wanted to show you guys some examples. I'm not going to print all of them just because I don't want to waste any unnecessary ink. I have more than enough stock right now at the moment, but if you want to see the original videos of when I first did these, you can check this video out. That's going to be up here, and that is the original video where I show you step by step how to do all these. as well as the front and back hang tags that are super easy. That requires a different process, so if you want to see that, check those out. But there are so many things that you can do with custom packaging right from home, and I personally do not recommend outsourcing your packaging until your business is growing. That's just because I can't tell you how many times I changed this card up. I added so many different things. I changed a lot of fonts and the format. I also changed the backing. I changed this card so many different times, and had I been ordering these, I would have had to get rid of a lot of cards that were kind of old and outdated. I changed a lot of my colors, and this way I did everything from home, so it was very easy and manageable to print as I go. I recommend this if you are just starting out. It's a really great way to save money and also to find what you like, find what you don't like, see what works for you, see what you enjoy. I can't tell you how much fun I had like making all this stuff when I was first starting my business and see my packaging coming to life. Like, it was just very, very fun for me. And it's an experience that a lot of people don't get because they, you know, outsource right away. And I really, really recommend just doing this at home. All the supplies that you need to get started are in the Amazon favorites. So, and again, just to give you an example of why I recommend printing from home at first is because I've been doing this for a year, so I made a lot of mistakes along the way, and one of them was outsourcing too fast. So for example, I used to make all my little cup care cards with a background of what the cup was. So for example, I had milk carton water bottles, I have mugs, I have glass cups, I have milk bottles. I have a bunch of different types of drinkwares, and something that I would do in the beginning is just make the background whatever the drinkware was. And as my business started to grow, I realized that that wasn't financially smart, because I would have to print a bunch of different cards with the different designs. That just wasn't sustainable in the long run. So what I ended up doing was just making a general card for all that applies to all different cups. I'll have a bunch of these extra cards that I can't get rid of fast enough, and they're just sitting there kind of wasting away. Of course, I will use them all up eventually, but I ordered 500 of these. And had I not done that, I would have been able to just order the correct card that I needed right away. But that's what I mean by not outsourcing too quick, because there's a lot of mistakes that you're going to make along the way, and this was one of them. And it wasn't too expensive. I actually got these from Staples. I think it was only like around $20 something for 500 of them, which it isn't an expensive mistake, but it is just wasteful because now they're sitting there and I can't get rid of them fast enough. So that's something to be mindful of. Yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know if you found it helpful, and if you want to see more videos like this. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on those post notifications so you never miss a video, and make sure to check out my TikTok and Instagram for more content, and I will see you guys in the next one.